Hey, welcome back to another Moralis video. My name is Bharat, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about our newly launched token search API and how you can use this API to build instant cross-chain search in your applications. So let's get started. So to show you this API in action, I'm just going to head over to moralis.com. And if you're not familiar with Moralis, Moralis is a crypto terminal that's powered by our data APIs. And here you can find info about any token across any chain, including its charts, prices, holders, etc. So to try out the search feature, you can just click on this menu bar right here. And as you can see, you can search by either the token name, symbol, or even the address itself. So to try out the search feature, I'm going to show you a couple of tokens and you'll be able to check it out. So I'm going to try radium. There we go. Now let's try Trump. There we go. Let's try render. Voila. So that's essentially how fast our search API is in terms of searching for tokens. And it basically searches across our database of around 6.5 million tokens. And this database keeps updating every day because whenever there's new tokens that get minted, they get added continuously to our database, letting you have the search feature work across tokens as soon as they are minted. So whether you're building like a DEX terminal or a portfolio or a wallet tracker, you're going to find the search feature super helpful because we just opened up this access to our API. So whenever you're building any search, you can just integrate our API and you'll be able to get that search work across this huge database of tokens. So to see the API reference and details, you can head over to our docs, which is available at API docs. So as soon as you click this, you can see docs.moralis.com, and that's where our documentation basically sits for all of our APIs. And as soon as you're here, you can basically head over to the token API section. And our token search API is actually live on both EVM and Solana chains, which means that you will be able to just search on both EVM as well as Solana in just one API call. So to check out the API, you can just head over to get token search. So you can see search tokens right here. And from here, you can click on method documentation. So once we're here, this is basically the page where you need. You can find the same API even if you go into Solana API because this API is cross-chain, which means it works across both EVM and Solana. And if you look at the API structure, you can see it right here. This is the endpoint that's being called in order to get the search response. And if you look at this, you have the search query right here, which is a required parameter. And this basically can be either the token address or the token name or the symbol. And essentially, this is the search query that's put into our database to get the results. And if you look at the chains, chains is basically not a compulsory field, which means you can just leave this blank and it's going to do a cross-chain search across all of our chains, and it's going to return the tokens that are matching this particular search query. However, you could specify the chains if you want to. You just have to put in like a list of comma separated chains, or you could just put in one chain if you want, and it's going to just find the search results for the query from that particular chain. You also have limit, which basically determines the page size of the result. Usually when you build searches for your applications, you kind of want to just limit it to the top 10 searches. So by default, the API returns only 10 documents in the result. However, you can change that up to 100 by changing the limit value right here. So if you want to try out this API, let's try searching for some token. And I'm going to try searching for render. And you can actually test live API right from the docs. So you can easily try it out and see the response. And if you have any questions or doubts, you can also access the FAQ page. So I'll be going through that as soon as I've shown you this API in action. And let's basically go ahead. So I'm going to put in render here and let's basically try test live API. And there we go. So you got the response. And this is the result which you basically get. You can see the token address of render, you can see the chain ID, you can see the name, you can see the symbol. And especially when you're building these kind of searches, it's super helpful to get the logo because it just adds a lot of UI element to your search whenever you return it with the logo itself. And since you get that logo directly from this, it's going to become super easy because you can just show this logo in all of your searches. And you get all of this straight in just one API call through this search. So it also works with like partial matching. So if you were to just put in like, let's say RENDE I'm sure it's going to turn up. There we go. So it shows you still the render token. So essentially, whatever your users are searching for, this API is going to handle all of that in the backend. It's going to give you all the search results that are very close to your search query. And you also get data about the price, the market cap, the volume changes, the liquidity, the price changes, etc. So it's super helpful whenever you're building search. And if you wanted to just filter out the search results for a particular chain, you can also do that. So you just have to put in the chain. In case you want to do multiple chains, put in a comma separated chain list here. So I'm just going to try searching render on Solana. So you're going to get all of the results only on Solana. So that's what we basically get through this search API. You can also try some EVM chains and some EVM tokens. So I'm going to try a token called Mochi on base. So let's put in the chain and filter by chain as well. Voila, there you go. So now we've got the Mochi token right here. So this search endpoint basically works across all of our supported chains. And coming to the frequently asked questions, more information, I'm going to show you this right here. So this is basically a premium feature which is required to be enabled on your account. So you need an API key associated with a Moralis account on the business plan or higher. But if you wanted to just test the API and see how it works, you can do it straight from the docs. And coming to what you can use this for, if you're building like a DEX terminal or a wallet tracker, wherever you're showing like a huge number of tokens and you are thinking of like building this search from the ground up, you can just integrate this API to get instant access to all of the token database that Moralis has. And coming to what can you search by, you can search by the token name or the symbol, and even partial matches, because you can even PEP will match for Pepe. And exact matches are typically prioritized in the results. Coming to what blockchains is supported, you can find it right here. And how can you specify multiple chains? You can just use comma separated chain identifiers. So that's on the usage guidelines. And coming to some limitations right now, the results are limited to 10 tokens per default, because we want to make the API super fast in returning you the results. However, you can put in like a limit if you want to get more than 10 tokens. Token logos are also available right here. We keep shipping new updates super fast, so you might notice some of the limitations are already addressed in our current version. And coming to how you can optimize your search results, you can use precise queries to avoid ambiguous results, specify chains if you want to narrow down the results, etc. And URL encode the chain params properly. And coming to some best practices, just start with some chains which are relevant to your use case. If your application is only on Ethereum, then you could probably just filter the results to fetch the tokens on Ethereum alone. And coming to some other things, you need to ensure some proper error handling, rate limiting, etc. And coming to what other things you would need, you can check out the common issues right here and how to get started. So once you're basically here in the docs, you can just head over to Moralis by clicking on this get API key. And as soon as you've logged in and signed up, you will be able to see your dashboard from where you can get your API key to actually try out all the APIs in action in like your application itself. So that's on getting your account all set up. And that's basically it. So if you are looking to integrate search API or search token search in your applications, you can definitely use this API to do that. And one other thing is, I forgot to mention, you can also search by the address. So you can just put in the query with the address. And if I were to do the search, it's going to show you, there we go, we got the Mochi token. And this time it's basically fetched the result by the token address itself. So whenever you're building token search in your platforms, this is super helpful because you can directly integrate this API and all the complexity for search, etc. is handled on the backend. And a really cool thing about this is that tokens are indexed as soon as they're minted. So whenever there's like a new token that's created and it's indexed, you're going to be able to find it through our token search API. So that's it on the search API. This API works across all EVM chains and Solana. So especially since tokens on Pump Fund get created super fast, whenever there's like a new token created, this search will also work for that. And you will be able to like have this search across all Solana tokens as well. So If you have any questions in integrating this API or any general doubts about this API, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll be sure to check it out. And if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a thumbs up and stay tuned for all the further videos. Thank you.